because the label is single drop. I wouldn't even say the artist is. It's the label.
The label doing
because
that.
The label they're getting more off the stream and less that they have to put into the artist.
That's
right. Because you gotta remember back in the day, the budget was a larger budget.
Right.
Because it was a larger bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it was what each CD was $20.
Yeah.
Right. And so the deal was structured differently. Now, an artist technically doesn't need a label. You know what I'm saying? You can build yourself off for followers. You know what I mean? You can build yourself independently. So how the label is structured, not all of them, but a good amount of them, they're structured off they'll make like a one album deal, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's driven off of that single. So if that single gets 1 million streams, then that's good. You know what I mean? That's a bigger pie to cut from. You know what I'm saying? Versus putting all this energy into an album.
To one release.
Right. One release.
It may get overlooked. The other songs may get overlooked.
Right,
Is that what you mean?
Right.
Oh,
and your money's getting burnt. So,
okay.
you know, it's pros and cons to it all. And like I said, nowadays, that's why I was telling you, like, as long as you create something, then your options are endless. Just create. You know what I'm saying? Just create it. And then critique it after. You understand what I'm saying? Critique if you don't have a band. Critique if you don't have this and that. But at least you have something tangible. You know what I mean? That you can go from. You know what I mean? But if you don't...
So you can build off of something.
Right. If you just have the ideas in your head, then you don't know if it's going to go or not. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? I may have the best idea in my head, but as soon as I put it down and lay it here in the studio, then I start to listen to it like, oh, well, I can change this. You know what I'm saying? It starts to change. So, you know, that's definitely one thing is in this day and age is like,
now
it's all in your hands.
On the streaming,
honestly,
what kind of money do they make off of streaming, an artist? I never looked into it, but how is that? So streaming is like, for example, Spotify, right?
Right, Spotify,
platforms
Apple,
like that.
Tidal.
So if I'm
SoundCloud,
a listener and I go and I find your song, I click on it, you get like credit for it, or you get some type of point system, or
it's a point system.
Okay.
Right. So obviously it gets. All right, so you go on Apple, right, or Spotify. You click on it. You're like, oh, this is a cool song. I'm gonna buy it, right?
Oh, okay.
So you purchase the song, and now you have it on your cell phone, whatever.
Okay.
On my end, you know, if I just was part of the songwriting process, then I get a certain percentage, right? So it's a pie, and it gets divided production and songwriting.
Okay.
Right. So in the production part, there's the producer, the musician, you know, everybody that's involved in creating that, right? And on the songwriting side is the person who wrote the hook, chorus, verse. If somebody spoke on it, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody who had something to do with that process. So I'm trying to run through it, but that's a big pie, right? And so from there, it goes through the point system.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So every time that song gets purchased, that point system deducts, you know, it divides the pie. That point system. You feel what I'm saying? So the more you cover on that point system, obviously the more you will be taking from that purchase that person in Australia purchased your song for.
So this is worldwide though, huh?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
All over the world, people can look at your music.
Everybody has a phone. Everybody has access to. You see what I'm saying? So that's why if going back to what I said, if you're able to build yourself as an artist yourself. You know what I mean? Obviously, the label is gonna get you noticed. You know, outside of your.
They do, what is it called? Not PR. They do the. Promoting,
yeah.
Right? That's what they do now.
Yeah, like I wouldn't call it A&R, but yeah, promoting. So they distribute. They give
you distribution. That's what it is.
Right. So they do that's more what a label's for.
That's nowadays. Yeah. Before it was all encompassing.
Like A&R, yeah. Artist
development. Yeah. Okay.
You know, a lot of that's out.
That doesn't even exist anymore, huh?
Because the pie that they're pulling from is small.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Back then, you know. Artists were making money, man. You got to think like when they were, how much was a video? Like,
back in the 80s?
Like $500,000.
To produce. Yeah, to produce, yeah.
I mean, it was, now you can make a video high quality for $2,000.
With your iPhone, right?
You know
even
with
your iPhone.
So you got to think, like, that affects
that makes
everybody.
sense, yeah.
That affects even though it works out for us, like you and I, independent artists, that affects the big labels because nobody's gonna pay $500,000 if they know they can get the same quality for $5,000.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it like that, and that's why I say this is the era of the independent artist. You can build yourself.
Right.
You know, you have social media, you have everything.
So there's plus and cons to being now in this environment as an artist, right?
The pros and cons. The pros.
I mean, there's pros. I mean, because a lot of people say, "Oh, there's no industry anymore. The music industry is not what it used to be." I know all that, but you're saying if you really want it, you can use it to your advantage. Different platforms and different. And
that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's how you use it. You know what I mean? And that's why I try not to focus on what other people say because your situation is different than mine.
Right.
Your genre is different than mine. Your approach is different than mine. So, you know. There's always, where there's a will, there's a way. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, if I'm developing an artist, it's easier for me to do that. You see what I'm saying? Because I have social media. I have, you know, so many different platforms I can pick from. You know, versus back then where you had to know somebody who knew somebody.
Right.
To get your foot in that door. Nowadays, I mean, back in the day, you couldn't just walk in a studio.
No, you know right? Yeah, it was a big.
It was a
challenge to get into a studio. Yeah, there was a budget
because the labels actually put a budget aside just for a studio time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like me and you, we wouldn't be able to pay for a studio time off of our pay. You know what I'm saying? So now we can,
unless we take out a huge loan or something.
Thank you. Yep. But now you can actually build it on your 9 to 5. You understand what I'm saying? So that's for me. Obviously, that's a pro. You know what I mean? A con would be. There's more people it's more accessible because it's cheaper. So that means there's more people in the same pot. You understand what I'm saying? There's more artists, there's more producers, there's more this, there's more that. So that means you have to make sure you have to make your music or whatever you do stand out even more now. Because there's millions of people who are trying to do the same thing. Right. You feel what I'm saying? And then now you have to be more protective of your music. Because there's more people out there trying to take your ideas.
Trying to take ideas and run with them. Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, it's like I said, it's pros and cons to it all, man.
Does it cost to put your stuff on, like, Spotify?
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
It does. It's not expensive. I wouldn't call it expensive, but yeah.
So they're just like hosting or they're providing the platform.
They're providing the platform, right, for you.
And the downloads and all that.
Right, and so they give you an upfront fee. And then, you know, so like I said, someone in Florida can now click on Apple and then here pops up James' face.
And then they have like sections, I'm assuming, new artists, featured artists, right?
Yep. Spotify has that.
Oh, okay.
Apple has that, you know, unsigned artists.
Right, up and coming
artists.
Undiscovered, whatever they want to label
like that, right.
Because a lot of people addict. I like looking at new artists.
Me too.
Sometimes I'm like, well, I already know that guy.
Because
let me look at this guy.
The hidden gems.
Right, yeah, you want to, because you kind of want to be the first to discover somebody.
Right, you're like, oh, that's
and tell everybody else, hey, you got to check this guy out.
And that didn't happen a couple of times where it's like, I find myself, even YouTube as well.
YouTube, yeah, I do that too, YouTube.
So remember, it's not just an audio game, it's a visual game too.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, everything's more affordable. That's a pro. Everything's more affordable. You know what I'm saying? Look, we how much material we knocked out today. Back in the day, I mean, unheard of. This would have been unheard of, and so it also plays into the equipment. So
that's probably why I never pursued it, because I couldn't really. It wasn't in my budget.
Right. Back
then, do I buy groceries or I buy studio time?
Do I starve and create music or?
But I had a family. If I was alone, I probably wouldn't starve.
Do it right.
I had kids and stuff.
I think that's the best way to do it before you start, because that's a whole nother responsibility.
Yeah.
Whole nother responsibility. So, yeah, man. Like
that's exciting.
Going on, it's pros and cons.
I know, right?
But I focus on the pros. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you have
like
to,
I said, everybody's situation is different, so you can make it work for you. You just got to do your homework. That's it. You know what I mean? But I say for you, create, man. Create.
Yeah, I got motivated. I'm motivated now.
Yeah, if you got to take the time and book, you down the street, so you could definitely make it happen, man. You could definitely make it happen. Did it read it or no?
Oh, I'm going to email them to you. What's your email?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you an easy one. Music.
Whatever's on your.
Was it you doing transfer?
Yeah, I use WeTransfer.com. I've already got them loaded.
Music, X, the letter X.
Music X.
And then the word genetics.
I'm gonna get a shot from up here. Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.